thankful for what you do got. Let's get to him, baby girl. Hey.
That's right.
Rihanna, let's get it.
So live your life. You steady chasing that paper, just live your life. Ain't got no time for no haters, just live your life. Don't tell them where it'll take ya, just live your life.
So, to go over the system, and I'd like to officially welcome you all to the live trading chamber of PipsMatter for this FOMC for 12th of October 2016. I'm going to be using System 23 to trade, and that means that I'm going to be opening the first and initial trade manually, and then the system will manage the rest for me. It is the FOMC, so we do expect some slippage regardless of where we're trading. So, but we're still sure the system will work fine. The system worked very well in that big drop on GBP USD, which happened earlier this week. And I'm just going to pull out the deal map here just for you guys to see. Here it is, and then we had it work again over here, and we're waiting for some more. We're going to go over, well, I'm going to go over some technical analysis for you today. Firstly, we have a clear triangle over here. It's been holding for quite some time, and it's pretty strong. We do have a small breakout over here, but it cannot be confirmed until this candle doesn't finish. So if the FOMC provides strength to the US dollar, and then you can see, the price will basically drop easily down to 105, maybe even 108. It's going to be a big move. Well, it also could be I mean, anything can happen today. But let's just go over it properly. So we have a systematical triangle on euro dollar. We believe that price is heading up, hence the risk we're taking. We believe also that DAX is heading down, and we gave this trade out as well in our forum, which I'm going to go over. Actually, we can pop into the forum. This is our website. So if you have a PipsMatter account, once you press login, if you press here, you'll go directly to the forum. PipsMatter forum. If you don't have an account, it's free. Make an account and just pop into the forums. We're posting trades there constantly. Other information is posted there too. If you don't have an account, you can't go into the forums. Okay, so let's go back to the charts. We've given out this trade as a sell, short-term wise. It is also a very strong triangle, and if you realize, it's totally the opposite of the euro-dollar triangle. Just going to open the daily chart for you guys to see this. You see, it's pretty much the opposite. Look at these two bottoms over here and this here. You'll find similar tops and bottoms here as well. GBP USD, GBP USD. So GBP dollar, GBP USD. This level is going to be extremely important. Now, basically this here. So the 120 area. The 120 area is going to be very, very important for the British pound, and it's going to be a very good area to buy once price comes here. It's going to be a really good area to buy. Maybe it's already a good time to buy it, but the British pound is under heavy pressure, so it's extremely dangerous to trade it. If you are trading it, take small calculated risks. What I mean by that is much smaller than usual trades, much smaller, and then try to compound them. Because even if you start at a 0.01, and if you compound it, if you start compounding it and you come up to 0.6, you're going to make around $300 easily. If you do it on two different pairs, or you start with 0.02, you're going to make a good $700 to $800 in gains. And that means you can start with a very small trading account. Similar scenario here. This is a very strong area right there. The 122, 124. This area here is extremely important. Gold, there is a nice doji candle over here, so we do believe that price will head higher. We are very bullish on gold, and we don't believe gold will go anywhere back down. We see it targeting 2000 within the next 6 to 8 months. Here's another scenario. Here we have a breakout of the trend channel with a flag pattern indicating movement upwards. Also, it could indicate movement downwards. So it could be a fake out because there is also a very strong double top over here. Silver, very similar to gold. Very similar to gold. AUD USD, as you guys can see, pretty decent triangle over here indicating powerful movements upwards, just like Euro USD. So we do see price heading higher on both pairs. So if I could draw you something, I would do it like this. We see price going up, then down, and then way up. Okay? Main target is the 80s, but then we're going all the way up, to 85. So these are very important levels. Another almost triangle here. So it's at the top. I mean, I don't see many reasons for there to be a breakout today. We see price heading back down towards these moving averages, maybe a bit lower, then back up, and then again further down. Euro GBP, we've reached our level of 92 that we said way a long time ago. We've said that GBP would go up to 92, and I think it was somewhere here that we've said it. USD CHF, again, you can clearly see it's being boxed in, and that it clearly indicates that the price could and should head south, either to this area, so price could head down and then possibly further down, or wait for the elections in the US and then go back down. Is anybody trading any kind of pair? Is there some kind of specific analysis you guys would like me to do right now on it? On some specific pair you might be trading? I will give you guys about 2 minutes to think of what you want, and then I'm going to pop into exactly what you'd like me to analyze for you. Okay, let's see what you guys want. Oil, GBP CAD. Let's check. Let's start with GBP CAD for cattle. GBP CAD. So what we're going to put, well, what I'm going to put first is obviously the mathematical points of interest, because it's just the easiest way for me to understand what's actually happening with the market. Okay, so here they are. I just have to re-add them. Okay, so I'm adding all of them. These are the PipsMatter mathematical points of interest. We're going to put 200 at the top, this one at the bottom. Let me just try and catch as much as I can into this. Okay, so Kato, are you asking if there is going to be a break downwards or break upwards? Ah, okay. Okay, let's check. I'm just gonna use the 4-hour. Just give me a moment. I'm just gonna remove and just use the 50% level to see what's going on within. Well, yes, look, there is a possibility for price to move up, but it's definitely going to continue going down. So the best case scenario that you can see with price doing is it heads to this 25% level here, right there, or around this area before moving lower. So GBP is going to be suffering a lot against all major pairs. The only thing that probably could help it is, and will help it, because no one's going to allow it to keep crashing so quick, because when that happens, people who have investments in euros, dollars, and things like this within the UK, they get seriously affected by this massive price changes. So it's not going to be dropping too much. It's a very similar scenario, let's say, with the Swiss franc. Let's just find that quickly. Here it is. Okay, so look at this. This is that last year thing, right? That massive, crazy black swan event when this just went crazy. And as you see, it pretty much priced evened out very quickly. As you see, in a matter of a couple of months, price came back almost to the same level where it was. So GBP will continue heading a bit lower, and then we see it heading higher. Now, the reason that it's good for the GBP to head lower is because Britain needs to start exporting heavily, because obviously exporting increases a lot of components into an economy, such as employment and things like this. So a weaker currency could be good for the British, but it's also good for the Americans, which they need it pretty soon. So that's why the dollar will continue going weaker. And now we're going to go to oil real quick. So Cato, like I said, we're looking at it going a bit higher before moving lower and then stabilizing up again. What I'm going to go over right now is oil, and then we have just a couple of minutes. Just this chart doesn't give us enough information, so we'll have to do it on a daily. So here's for everyone that's new or already experienced in this game we call trading. Let me ask you a question. How long would it take you to give up on your child before it starts walking? Let's say you have a child and your child just can't walk. How long would it take you? Let me just ask you this again. How long would you give your baby to walk before you actually give up on the baby and tell your baby, don't try anymore? How many months, years would it take for you to give up on that little baby? Good. Kato says an eternity. An eternity. Well, you see, that's the same thing. That's how we should act with our goals. That's the kind of importance our goals should have to us. Trading is absolutely the same thing. I've lost a ton of money in the markets. I know people who've lost tons of money too. But there's that little threshold that one day, that voila moment comes in. And just like your child, one day goes off the couch and starts walking. That's exactly how you can just start trading profitably. I don't know if I'm explaining this in the best way I can right now, but Don't give up on if you have goals when it comes to trading, things like this. All you have to do is just realize a couple of little skills. The first one that you need to remove, the first thing that you need to remove from your trading is a very simple component, and that's, everyone says this, and I bet you also said this, and you had it in your plans, and blah blah blah, but it doesn't work out. Is, let's say, greed. So I will show you today, if price goes in our favor, how we're going to turn this 1.3K account into over $2,000 trading well 0.02. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you today. If price goes in our favor. If it doesn't, we're going to lose, 50, 60, 100 bucks, but that's not a problem, because as you see here, 500 of that is our net profit with a 6% balance drawdown. But that 6% wasn't even correct. It's just slippage. But so that's what I'm going to show you today, that you don't have to be greedy. You don't have to risk a ton of money to make a ton of money. I risked $4 to make over 500. $4 to make over 500 in a couple of minutes. Now, when it comes to trading, you need to also realize that there are countless of opportunities, but sometimes the markets just don't give in. They just wait a little bit, But on a weekly basis, every 5 trading days, there is enough movement to make you hundreds or thousands of dollars return. What you need to protect is your money. So the idea when it comes to trading is this. If you do not open a trade, well, basically like this. If you don't open a trade, you won't make any money. But if you lose all of your money, you can't open any trades. Now, where does that saying come from? It actually comes from gambling. Just like many of the references, such as risk management and everything else, comes from gambling. So how do you win in gambling? Systematical advantages have taught people to win in an edge, basically. An edge, so a trading edge. That also comes from gambling. Also, many other references that we have in trading today come from gambling. Risk management is gambling. It comes from gambling. It's how you manage your risks. So when we start managing our risks and you learn how to risk minimal amounts and leave your temper outside of the game, well, then you can find opportunities to make really impressive returns. I've taken it as a challenge upon myself to turn this account, which started with $750, to turn it into $10,000, well, by the end of October. Now that's the goal. Keeping the drawdown, obviously, under 10%. Now the idea, even if there is slippage, you see I'm going to lose $15 here. That's what I'm going to lose here. If we go to GBP USD, nope, we don't have a trade here. Here, we're losing 13 here. Let's say with slippage 20, 30, you never know, but somewhere there. 20 here. So, we're going to lose about $100 if we're wrong here. So the idea, it's very simple. The idea is very simple. The idea is to risk as little as possible, but to earn as much as possible. Okay? So low risk, high return. How do you do that? Most people say that doesn't exist. I'm going to hopefully show this to you today. But I can show it to you here in the history of this account. So I'm on all history, and let's start with the closing date. So that's the 12th of October. As you see, there's plenty of red and green trades, but you see the pips here and the rewards here. I just want to show you the quantities of the trades: 0.01, 0.02, 0.04, 0.01, 0.01, 0.4. You see that? Well, we don't open a higher trade until the other one goes into profit. So you can see plenty of red ones, but there is much more green ones actually. So here. Total trades 79, winning trades 44. Yep, largest winning trade 101, largest losing trade 66. So the way you become profitable is, one, by having bigger wins and smaller losses. And you can clearly see that here. As you see, 66, 44, 11. There's only 3 double-digit losses. But look how many there is double-digit profits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3 to 11 ratio, and even these little ones outnumber the other ones. So that's how we trade, and hopefully right now we will also be able to be in a position to provide you with a very similar outlook. So if the FOMC minutes, which are coming out in about 6 minutes, go out in our favor, we will be making pretty interesting returns. Does anybody have any questions for me? So does anybody use basically the MPIs, mathematical points of interest? There's plenty of people in this workshop, so is there anybody that's using these kind of things that we're teaching? Very good. I'm really happy you used them, Kato. I would like to have a private coaching tomorrow with you, just to begin those things, so we can start making up for some lost time as well, Kato. I know. There is a lot to do with the system. You know, I've actually added even a few more pages to it. And even an algorithm to it. So it's it's constantly improving. That's the idea we have. That's the idea I have. Constant improvement is the way to live a fulfilled life. And that's how to achieve goals. Okay, we're in the final 2 minutes, so I'm not going to be speaking much now. So volatility is going to start increasing, definitely. It's actually really strange that the market is quite calm right now. But like I said, I personally strongly believe that price, like I showed you here, will go up, chill there for a couple of days, go back next week, and yeah, we're waiting for the elections. That's the next big thing. These FOMC minutes, elections, and the final day, which is I actually think these are the last minutes. These are the last minutes of this year. Yes, that's why they're also very important. They're the last minutes of this year, because the next minutes will be in 2017 from the December meeting, which will of course be really important. And we still believe here at PipsMatter that there will not be a hike this year. The minutes should be out. They're probably going to be late. Okay, still nothing. Yes, well, look, Kato is asking, will the dollar suffer regardless of who wins the elections or only if Trump wins? Okay, so Republicans and Democrats, they're actually quite in control of the dollar. Democrats usually have a much stronger US dollar, while Republicans have a weaker US dollar. And I have a graph for that. I just kept forgetting to put it out. I need to put it out. It's really important. So there will be pressure on the dollar, The biggest effect that will actually happen will be in the emerging economies. That's where the biggest effect will happen. The dollar will definitely suffer if Trump wins, because Trump is okay. The two economies that will suffer the most will be Mexico. So we're going to be selling Mexican dollar if Trump wins, and the dollar. We're going to be selling the dollar as well. And but if Clinton wins as well, there will be trouble with the dollar. But I still think, Kato, to answer your question directly and simply, if whoever wins, I still think the dollar will be very weak, because one is a clown and a lunatic, the other is a crazy war dog that wants to kill the whole world. So it's regardless of what happens, it's going to be interesting. My personal opinion, but I still think the dollar will suffer. Does anybody know if the minutes are out? Because nothing's really happening in the market. Some weakness from the dollar, but I see nothing on the internet yet. Well, they shouldn't be out because there's barely any movement. It's probably going to be late. That's where they're going to have an even bigger impact on the markets. Adam, can you please check if the minutes are out? I actually really, yeah, no, nothing's out. I'm sure nothing's out yet. That's why the market is just, you can clearly see volatility increasing. I mean, if I go on tick charts, you can see it increasing. This is a daily chart, so you see prices. You see that, how it's moving up and down, up and down, up and down. There is volatility. The minutes are definitely not out. It's going to be a strong impact, definitely a strong impact once they're out. The Fed, the Fed is a private organization. So I remember last year, if you guys remember, around this time, it was actually around this time, and they released the minutes 15 minutes early, and the market went wild. If somebody remembers that, that was around this time. It was in October, definitely. September or October last year. They released the minutes 15 minutes earlier, and even the president went wild on them and blah, blah, blah. But as you can clearly see, they haven't released anything yet. Well, the first place we're going to see the minutes is in the market. That's why I never really wait. I don't look at the news. I'm not going to read it. I'll read the minutes later, and then I'll understand a bit better what's actually happening and what they're talking about, what they're seeing. But like this, there's no point for me to actually read anything right now, because the market is going to take into account everything way, way before we even get a chance to read the first letter. Well, I guess they're being late. Let's check Forex Factory. No, they're released. They were released 4 minutes ago. So nothing. No impact whatsoever. Well, that's disappointing. Well, if nothing's going to happen in the market, then there's no point sitting here and waiting for something that might not happen. We have the positions open. We'll just have to wait and see what happens tomorrow or after tomorrow with the retail sales. Let's check that together. This is going to be really important. The retail sales are going to be extremely important. So here they are on Friday. Friday is a busy day. Friday is a really busy day. There they are, and Yellen speaking on Friday as well. So retail sales are really, really important this for the Fed decision to hike. Tomorrow, that's it. Okay, well, since nothing's happening, we'll leave the positions open. If they compound, they compound. If not, not. That's pretty simple. Like I said, I still do see the dollar heading. Basically, all the pairs that I said, Euro USD, I see it heading higher. DAX down, gold up. USD JPY down, AUD USD up, and that's pretty much it. Okay, I'm gonna thank you all for coming. Since nothing happened, I'll let you go enjoy your evenings and mornings. Kato, I will speak to you tomorrow. Tomorrow I will just message you in the morning, and we will have that session together. And hopefully I will open your mind more towards the system, and you know, hopefully you could start using it yourself even more. Thank you all for coming. I wish you a really good day, night, wherever you are. Happy trading, and don't give up on anything. Just remember that baby. Remember the baby. Take care, everyone. I wish you all the best.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want, but you must try, try and try, try and try. You'll succeed at last. Yeah. Persecution